gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the My Two Cents Podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. I am G2. This is episode 264, I believe, of the podcast. And the first thing I'd like to do is ask every single one of you, how are you doing? I'm hoping that everyone is having a good time right now. I know certain individuals, if you live at least over in the eastern part of the United States, you're experiencing some type of cold weather. If you're in the northeast to probably the mid-Atlantic, which is around the Carolinas, you're experiencing cold. Some places in the Northeast are experiencing frigid cold because if you look at their weather indicator, certain states are going to be experiencing some snow. Some states are going to be experiencing some freezing temperatures. I'm hoping that's not the case for everybody, but if it is, I'm hoping you guys have everything already stashed up for you, whether it be kerosene, your kerosene heater, you have the heat running in your home, you have good installation, you have the water dripping so your faucets won't freeze up on you. That's what I'm hoping for a lot of people over here in the east of the United States. But for everybody else out there in the world, I'm hoping everyone is having a great time, or at least is doing well. If you're not, I'm hoping that this week will be better than it was last week for you. I'm hoping that the momentum will swing in the right direction for you. If you've had a good week last week or even a great week, I'm hoping that momentum will continue rolling as we enter the last week of January 2026. And you heard that right. We are entering the last week of January. January literally just flew by so fast, and I can already tell this is going to be an indication for a lot of months this year in 2026. My prediction is that these first couple months is going to be extremely quick, with some news that's going to just be flying just off the shelves that is going to be probably a lasting indicator for the rest of the year. And then by summertime, I have a feeling that those summer months is going to be some slow months. I have a feeling that's exactly how this is going to go. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that's exactly how this year is going to go. Like the first couple months, fast, but as soon as it starts hitting around May, your June, July, even a little bit of August, I have a feeling it's going to start slowing itself down, and you're going to really start experiencing time start slowing itself down. And certain people are going to be happy for it. Certain people are not going to be so happy, but prepare for that. And yeah, again, I'm hoping that everybody enjoys their day today. I'm hoping that everybody is bundled up nice and tightly if you're in the eastern part of the United States. But I always have to say this. I'm hoping that everyone is able to take care of their mental health, their mental capacity, that mental headspace of yours. I'm hoping that everyone is able to take care of themselves in that way, because if you're not doing so, you are leading yourself down a very, very not healthy avenue. People right now are dealing with some of the most high-strung mental downshifts that we've seen so far. People are starting to speak out about their mental health not being in the right position or in their right space of mind. I have a feeling that it's dealing because of stress. People are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their taxes. People are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their car loans, or people are going to just figure out how they are just trying to overcome life. I want to say this to everyone, because I say this every Sunday. Please take care of your mental health. Please do not add any more stress onto your plate. Please try to handle your stress in the most effective way possible. Please do not drink yourself into a spot that your stress will be only handled for a certain moment, and then as soon as you're out of that situation of drunkenness, you're back exactly in the spot that you were in before you got drunk. I don't want people to do that. I don't want people to add more stress to their plate, because once you do that, guess what? You're just adding more overwhelming situations to you, and you'll feel more overwhelmed, which means your mental health will start to decrease, which will then lead to your physical health start decreasing, which leads to you being one step closer, or many steps closer in certain people's cases, to an early grave. And I don't want that for a lot of people. I want people to handle the right amount of stress, because as humans, we're going to be dealing with stress on a day-to-day basis. So handle the right amount of stress, and everything else, try to let it just go until the next day, and the next day. Try to handle what you can handle, what I'm trying to get at with you. So if you know you got a project that you got to do, or it has to be finished, try to slot it into your day, into a time that you know you can at least manage, and try to spread it out throughout the rest of your days, or spread it out until you can actually finish it. And if you don't have a project, or just other little tedious things you got to do, just handle those little tedious things throughout the week, if I were you. Because again, people's mental health needs to be focused on. People need to manage that. And I just don't want people to walk themselves or even run themselves to an early grave. You understand? So please handle your mental health, handle your physical health as well. But mental health should be at the top of everybody's priority, because if your mental health is decreasing, guess what is next to decrease? Your physical health. And I don't want people to do that. I want people to live. I want people to be able to see another day. I want people to know that people are here for them. And I just want people to just be better. That's all I want for everybody, okay? So with that being said, now I want to move off of me on my soapbox. I'm going to now move over into the portion where I talk about your National Food Days of the Week. And today being January 25th, 2026, it is Irish Coffee Day. Tomorrow, January the 26th, will be Peanut Brittle Day. January the 27th will be Coffee Cake Day. January 28th will be Blueberry Pancake Day. January 29th will be Corn Chip Day. And then to round us out, for January 30th, it is Croissant Day. They have nothing for January 31st, but those are your days for your National Food Days of the Week for this week. As I said, we're entering the last week of January. We're exiting out January this week. And again, I want people to hit January strong as we go into February, which would then lead us into Valentine's Day, the month of love. And I want people already at this time, if you already haven't done so, please start looking at just trying to get your partner or spouse something, whether it be flowers or something that at least means something to them. It doesn't have to be the most extravagant gifts. You can write your loved one a letter, or write your loved one a note. Because sometimes when people have been together for a good period of time, like your 15-year, 20-year relationships, I guarantee you your spouse, if your spouse is this way, but I'm pretty sure they will enjoy it, if you write them a note about how much you care for them, how much you appreciate them, all that type of stuff. And you might say, I don't want to write them a note, or I shouldn't have to write them a note to let them know that I appreciate them. They should already know by me being around them, me doing this or me doing that for them. I'm going to tell you right now, just writing someone a note to let them know that you care about them, that you love them, that you appreciate what they're doing for you or what they have done for you all these many years and still currently, it still goes a long way, because people love to be told that they've done a good job. People love to be reminded of the loving nature that they provide to certain, not just a certain individual, but to the people that they are loving. People love that type of stuff. And again, if you've been with that person for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, 20 years, hell, even a year, people love being told that they are appreciated, because we're humans. Because if you're not being told you're appreciated, guess what that means? You will feel that you are being unappreciated, even though you kind of have an idea that that person appreciates you, but you just want to hear it, or you just want to read it. You want something out of that. And again, with Valentine's Day approaching, because we're entering February, I will suggest for all the men and women out there to do that. Write a love letter to your spouse. if you don't have the money to buy something extravagant, write them a nice little love letter. Because again, I feel that those things go a long way. And I think that people won't necessarily think about it, at least in that moment. But as time goes by, they will understand that, hey, this is all they could give you. So appreciate that. You know what I mean? That's just my thoughts. But again, I would still say give them a gift, as in like a letter that you wrote them, and also some type of flowers, because people like flowers. Flowers is just something that is an accessory to the room. And again, people like that type of stuff. But that's just my thoughts right now as we're about to enter Valentine's month. But you guys do what you do. So with that being said, now it's time for me to get on into the news. I wanted to talk about the Chile wildfire. I mentioned it on my Wednesday episode of Midweek Breakdown, which if you haven't listened to it, you can go check it out now. Go listen to that. I talked about that Chile has been experiencing some wildfires. I want to give you guys an update on that because apparently there was a man that went to court that's in a detention center, and he's been suspected of starting a wildfire that killed 20 people. Associated Press would write up about this. They would say a Chilean court on Friday ordered the pretrial detention of a 39-year-old man for his alleged involvement in one of the uncontrolled wildfires that has been raging across the central and southern parts of Chile for nearly a week, leaving at least 20 people dead. The man was arrested late Thursday night for his alleged involvement in the fire, one of the largest one amidst approximately 15 wildfires that has been out of control since Sunday. According to the prosecution, the fire started when the man was using a wood-burning stove in poor conditions. Sparks quickly spread to the vast forest that surrounded Bio, a region around 500 kilometers, which is 310 miles from the capital, Santiago, that has been the center of the fires, unleashing one of the worst emergencies in Chile's recent history. The public prosecutor's office requested an extension of the accused's detention because there are still some ongoing investigations, including the search for more bodies. The court would accept the request of the prosecutor's office as part of an ongoing investigation into an arson case resulting in death. During the hearing, the prosecutor argued that the fire spread through embers. Video provided by a forestry company have allowed the investigators to link the suspect to the events under the investigation. So they're trying to link this man as part of one of the reasons why the wildfires happened and spread the way that it did. So that man is right now being held in detention. It has been said that he's going to be staying there until January 26th, which is tomorrow by the time this episode drops. And that's when the prosecutors will formally have to present a case against the suspect, which has not yet been made public. So that man is in there. Again, there's still wildfires right now. I think they're trying to still try and control the wildfires that's happening in Chile. I once again would like to give condolences to the people that did lose their lives and people that did lose their homes to these wildfires in Chile this past week. But there needs to be some type of announcement, like some type of public announcement when the air quality is bad or there's like some dense humidity, something like that needs to be announced on the news for the civilians not to do things outside, whether it's to cook outside, because certain people have pizza ovens, certain people, like in this man's case, he has a wood burning stove. Like, there needs to be something alerted on the news. And again, I don't live in Chile, but over here in the States, at least in my part of the States, the southern parts, they will alert you on the news whenever it is a dense humidity, and it's usually around the summertime. They do announce that, hey, you guys cannot light up a fire, which people would like to do, a bonfire, a big burning fire, because people usually like to cut their grass and put the grass and leaves and all that crap into a pile, and they start like to burn it. They will announce that, because if the air is dense and all that, that means that the fire can spread and get blown off to somewhere else, and then it can create a big forest fire. They will announce that on the news to let people know that, hey, don't do that right now. It's not the time for it. Chill out. They will do that. I'm not certain if they do that in other countries. If they don't, I will suggest people to tell their weather people, hey, we need to do that so people know not to do anything outside, whether it is to light up a wood burning stove or is to cook outside or something like that. Or if you're going to do a barbecue, make sure you can't leave your barbecue station unattended, like something like that. I'm hoping that that happens over in Chile or in other countries, because again, I don't know. So mind my ignorance if you guys do that. But if you don't, I'm hoping that someone at least makes it aware to someone out there. But if the guy is a part of one of the reasons why there happens to be a wildfire in Chile, I mean, do what you got to do. If you guys can investigate it and actually link them to it, then it is what it is. I don't think that man meant to do it. I mean, come on, he was just using a wood burning stove. But again, it never really has to matter what your intent was. It's always the result. At least that's what they tell you in the U.S. court system here, right? But that's what's going down right now with Chile. Again, they're still experiencing wildfires. Hopefully they are starting to get it tamed right now, but people did lose their lives. People did lose their homes. And again, send your prayers and your condolences to those people. And that's the update that I do have for you guys right now with Chile. Moving off of that, I already talked about it, but I'm going to have to make mention of it again. We are experiencing, or people in the U.S. are experiencing some cold weather. I'm hoping you guys send your prayers and not even say condolences, but just prayers to the people out there that are experiencing cold weather as this big winter type storm is like blasting in all these states. The funny thing to me is that I have been in communication with my parents and they have been calling to let me know, hey, make sure this is right, make sure that is right, make sure this is good, make sure that is good, so you don't experience no type of cold, freezing type weather, any type of stuff. I am a guy that has to watch the news because obviously, as you guys can tell, this is what I do. I bring you guys and I talk about the news on this program here. If you guys are a first time listener, this is what I do. I talk about the news here, at least on my Sunday and Wednesday portions of this show. Saturday and Thursday, I talk about professional wrestling though. So go check those out if you enjoy professional wrestling. But getting back to it, as I've been watching this weather that they've been hyping up, this winter storm, at least over in the parts that I'm at right now, we're not expected to be hit like that. It's only going to be some type of just cold little wind and probably some like ice on the road, which people in the South really don't do good with that because it's the South. They're not used to ice on the road and things of that nature. We're used to heat, but cold, icy weather, no, they're not used to that. But everywhere else, like the upper parts of the southern areas, they're going to be experiencing that snow and the brutal like temperature. All that's to be expected with them. So I'm not truly worried about this weather at the moment. I'm not. I just have to record this episode before anything does happen, just in case, so I can throw it out to you guys as you're listening to it right now. But again, I'm hoping everybody is wrapped up nice and tightly, whether you're in your New York area or Connecticut or New Jersey or Delaware or Maine, Massachusetts, God, all the other states. I'm hoping that everybody's just bundled up if you are experiencing that real cold and frigid temperature as they are saying supposed to be hitting Sunday and going into Monday, and some people even experienced it late Saturday night. So again, I'm hoping everybody is once wrapping themselves up and getting themselves together. That's what I am hoping for everyone out there at this point in time, and hopefully everything is good for you guys. Now, with the weather out the way, I now have to get into the news about what's been going on in the government. But before I do so, I do have to say this. The thoughts and opinions that you're about to hear come strictly from G2. No more, none less. I am not a Democrat or a Republican. This is not a Democratic or Republican pushing podcast. I have no agenda here of any type of allegiance to any side in any of these matters. I want people to know that anything you hear from me is only my thoughts and my opinions, okay? I'm not trying to push any type of agenda. Only my agenda. And my agenda is trying to give everybody the right set of news, the right set of opinions, because they're mine, but they're not political based opinions. You know what I mean? So just want to get that out of the way before I talk about the government. So without further ado, that was your little disclaimer. And now let's jump right into it. Trump's been pretty busy. This week, he wanted to put some tariffs on some European countries, 8 of them to be exact. And he had that set out at the beginning of the week. He talked about it. I made mention of it on Wednesday. Fast forward, he has a meeting with, I believe it was the NATO chief. And he has agreed to backtrack on that. Make sure that he does not put any of the tariffs that he wanted to threaten on the 8 European nations. And he pressed on. He backtracked off that, and that's not happening. I want to read you something from The Hill, and it goes like this. Is the article that says Denmark and Greenland says sovereignty is not negotiable after Trump reverses on tariffs. Leaders of Denmark and Greenland insist Thursday that the island's sovereignty was not negotiable after U.S. President Donald Trump said that he had agreed with the NATO chief on the framework of a future Arctic security deal that Trump would say would grant the U.S. total access to the territory. Much about the potential deal remained unclear, though Trump said on Fox Business interview that we're going to have total access to Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of NATO ally Denmark. He added that we're going to have all the military access we want. NATO spokesperson Alison Hart said that Alliance's Secretary General Mark Rutte did not propose any compromise to sovereignty in discussions with Trump, who had already repeatedly argued that the U.S. needed Greenland to counter threats from Russia and China, which I don't believe that at all. On Wednesday, abruptly scrapped the tariffs he had threatened to impose on 8 European nations to press for U.S. control over Greenland. It was a dramatic reversal hours after he insisted he wanted to get the island, including right, title, and ownership, though he had also said he would not use force. Greenland Prime Minister voiced guard relief, said he knew no concrete details of the agreement Trump cited. I don't know what there is in the agreement or the deal about my country, he told reporters. So right now, I don't believe that. I think this is none but lip service from Trump. Possibly there could have some U.S. military go to Greenland. I'm not certain if there already isn't that right now, but I'm going to say right now, the U.S. is not going to take Greenland. They're not doing it. United States is not going to take Greenland because that would require us to ultimately use some type of force. Because there's no way a country is just going to decide to say, yep, let's just sell ourselves over to the U.S. like that. It's not happening, okay? So I want to get that right out the way first and foremost. But still speaking in that framework of Trump kind of being busy, he did piss off people in NATO when he questioned the allies' ability of whether they would be there if the United States needed them. And he's claiming that the allied troops stayed a little back from the front lines in Afghanistan. He would say in an interview with Fox News, I've always said, will they be there if we needed them? And that's really the ultimate test. And I'm not sure of that. I know that we would have been there or we would be there, but will they be there? And they're talking about in the wake of the 9/11 terror attacks, the U.S. became the first and so far only NATO member to invoke Article 5, which states that an attack against one member and an attack against all. For nearly 20 years, NATO allies and other partners countries fought alongside U.S. troops in Afghanistan, a sacrifice Trump has routinely downplayed. He would say, we've never needed them. We have never really asked anything of them. You know, they've said they sent some troops to Afghanistan or this or that, and they did. They stayed a little back, a little off the front lines, he said. Now, in the CNN article that they did write up about it, they would say this: while in absolute terms, the U.S. lost by far the most troops of any NATO country in Afghanistan, some European countries with smaller populations than the U.S. lost almost as many troops in relative terms. Around 3,500 Allied troops died in the conflict of which 2,456 were American and 457 were British. Denmark, with a population around 5 million when the invasion began, lost more than 40 troops. So they're trying to say that, yes, even though we're the bigger country and yes, we're involved in different things, we've had Americans die on our end, but we've also had people that are allied with us die as well. Because I'm going to say right now, if you're in a fight and it's your family against someone else's family and you happen to call up your buddy's only going to bring the people that's willing to join them off of your name because they're buddies with you. So let's say you call up a buddy, your buddy's only able to bring around 2 or 3 people and you have your family of 5. So your buddy brought 2 or 3 people with him. You guys go into this fight against another set of people. You and your family happen to come out alive, couple bones broken, cool. Your buddy and his people come out alive. They got a couple scratches. Would you say that they didn't fight as hard as you if they only got a couple scratches and you and your family have bones broken? No. You would say they came out there, they came for the fight. I'm happy that they were right beside me. You don't try to downplay them and say, well, you guys only got a couple scratches. We have broken bones. They can say, dog, we didn't have to be there at all. We came there because of our relationship, our friendship. We came there because of what we're capable with one another. You don't insult the people that happen to help you in a conflict. You don't do that. And it seems that that's exactly what Trump decided to do this week. And it was speculated that Trump was trying to move away from NATO, try to get the U.S. out of NATO. And I just want to read you guys something here because I wanted to see if that was possible for Trump to withdraw the U.S. from NATO. It has been said that no, legally, a U.S. president, including Donald Trump, cannot withdraw the United States from NATO due to the National Defense Authorization Act for 2024, which prohibits such withdrawal without an act of Congress or 2/3 Senate vote, though a president could still try to undermine the alliance through other means like quiet quitting or reducing participation. Congress adds this provision to block any president from leaving NATO without explicit approval, a move supported by both Democrats and Republicans. So Trump cannot remove the United States from NATO, but with what he's doing, he can, he's not going to say quiet quitting, but he is trying to reduce participation from the U.S. with NATO, at least with his words. The British Prime Minister would criticize Trump, saying that I'm not surprised they've caused so much hurt to the loved ones of those who were killed or injured. If I had misspoken in that way or said those words, I would certainly apologize. So again, Trump is really just speaking out of the left side of his mouth. And again, man, it's just so weird. It's so weird to see the face of the United States just talk so crazy and try to do stuff that's real bold out here that you can't truly be doing. Why are you trying to ostracize yourself from other countries? I don't get it. I don't know. I've said this before, and I'm going to constantly say this whenever I see things like this happening, especially with this regime that we're in. There is someone or an entity pulling the strings behind the scenes. Yes, Trump is in the front. Yes, Trump is the front-facing man of the United States. Get it. He's the front-facing man of government. Get it. But, dog, he is doing some things that obviously the Democrats are not happy about. That's already been stated. But there's certain things that he's doing that the Republicans aren't even happy about. Some Republicans are out to say it. Certain Republicans, they're not saying nothing, but I guarantee you they're speaking to people behind the scenes because that's what all of them do up there in the Hill. They talk to one another that they're able to say, yo, dog, I don't know what boy is doing. Homeboy is bugging. Like, what? Like, come on. There are Republicans that will just go along to get along and be like, well, he's doing a good job. He's doing this, doing that. But all the Republicans, I guarantee you, whenever they're in a room, they're able to say, yo, he is tripping. I don't know what's going on with him, but yo, something has to be done. I don't know what the deal is. In my time of looking at the news and really paying attention to what's going on, I haven't seen not one person of someone in that high position, at least over here in the States, try to do what Trump is doing in that presidential spot. I haven't seen it. And again, I think it's something darker behind the scenes than just what we're constantly being shown. Again, I believe it's all smoke and mirrors when it comes down to politics and all that, especially now more than ever. This is really a real smoke screen. I don't know what the big play is behind the scene is. I don't know if it's trying to make the U.S. just literally be its own little thing, not be connected with other countries, that so much so that we just piss everyone off and like, nope, we're by ourselves. We're good with like that. No, America won't last like that. American government won't last like that. We will get destroyed if all the other countries decide to click up together. So again, I don't know what the deal is. I'm hoping, once again, I'm making this plea to whoever is running the scenes behind it. Yo, call up your boy Donnie, get him under control, and tell him the real play of how to get this thing back running right. Because again, I don't need country leaders to go up on a stage together. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Right now, I'm not afraid. Like, I've seen a lot of people afraid of what's going on right now with the news and what's going on internationally wise. I'm not afraid yet. When I will become afraid and when I'll be like, oh, yo, it's doomsday, doom and gloom, is when I see country leaders stand on the stage side by side and they get on a podium and say, yo, we will denounce the U.S. We are not cool with what the U.S. is doing. And as a matter of fact, if the U.S. tries to do something and attack someone else, we will actually side with the other country and be a shield for them. That's when I will start being afraid, when I see that in bright time. Because again, we're in the age of social media. If that were to happen, best believe it's going on everyone's social media feed. It's going up on everybody's news station right when that happens. So if and when that happens, that is when I will start ringing the alarms for all the Americans to start getting into their shelters or try to find a shelter and hope that no type of big war will come about. But as of right now, Trump is just trying to piss off everybody. I'm hoping that all the other countries just see this as a play of someone just being stupid instead of trying to move away from the U.S. But if Trump keeps talking the way that he's talking, trying to do the actions that he's doing, I can see other countries really trying to break away and say, nope, let the U.S. fend for themselves. Let them do their own business. And once they've done handling their business, then we can discuss with them again. I can see that happening, but I'm hoping that's not the case personally, but we shall see. Now, moving off of Trump, moving over to the actions that's happening over in Minneapolis, as you already know, or if you haven't been paying attention, for the past, 2 to 3 weeks, ICE has been around in Minnesota, the Minneapolis area. People have been pissed off about that. It all started with the death of Renee Good and now has been transferred over to people being arrested at an anti-ICE protest in Minneapolis. The Telegraph will write an article about it. In the article, they would say that roughly 100 clergy members were arrested at this anti-ICE protest that was at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. They're protesting, obviously, ICE and their involvement in Minneapolis. The funny thing about this is that the people that got arrested, they're all white folks. And again, this is something to behold right in front of your face. To see white people being arrested right in bright, clear time in front of your face because they don't like what's going down. That's something that you're not truly used to seeing like this all the time. They kind of like try to sweep that under the rug when they really have protests or anything like that. But you can't sweep this one. This one is a situation that it has been, as I said, been brewing and has been going on for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Someone on X or Twitter, however you want to announce it, would put out that over 100 priests were arrested in Minneapolis for protesting ICE in Minnesota, where today it's negative 21 degrees outside of that airport. So people in frigid cold were out there. And in the Telegraph article, by the way, it said that it is estimated that around 2,000 deported migrants has passed through the airport, which is one of the biggest aviation hubs in the U.S. So that's where they're shipping out all the migrants through that airport. So I can understand why they would have a protest there. For them to do that, for them to be out there in that frigid cold to protest what ICE is doing, I appreciate all those people, all those different churches coming together and trying to just not be okay with what ICE is doing, saying that, yo, that's wrong, saying that this is not good, all of this, right? I appreciate that. But I think we're about to start going into very dangerous territories here. I think we're about to start having citizens start attacking ICE because of what ICE is doing. And one particular situation this week put a spotlight on ICE and how nasty and dirty they are. And I think this one will start to sway certain people of how they view ICE and what they're doing. If you don't know, there was a 5-year-old boy that was detained by ICE this week. And I'm going to just read you this because it's weird to me. ICE agents took 5-year-old Minneapolis resident Liam Ramos from his driveway on Tuesday as he arrived home from preschool with his father. Images of an ICE agent and the child sparked local and national outrage from critics of the Trump administration's ongoing immigration crackdown in Minnesota, and confusing and sometimes contradictory interpretations of what actually happened from various officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance. Vance claimed during a visit to Minneapolis on Thursday, officers went to arrest his illegal alien father. The father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States? Well, here's how this story ends up going. As it has been reported, they will say that the child attends a preschool in Minnesota's suburbs. Agents removed the child from his father's running cart in the driveway of their family home, according to the superintendent of that public school district. The Department of Homeland Security later said agents were targeting the boy's father and claimed that the father fled on foot, abandoning his child. Officials have not provided any evidence that the father tried to flee. Either way, he was immediately detained. Meanwhile, another adult living in the home was outside and begged the agents to let them take care of the small child, but was refused, the superintendent said at a news conference on Wednesday. Instead, the agent took the child out of the still running vehicle, led him to the door, and directed him to knock on the door, asking to be let in order to see if anyone else was home, especially using a 5-year-old as bait. You heard what I said. They used a 5-year-old as bait to try to grab up other individuals. ICE has disputed this claim, saying that ICE did not and has never used a child as bait. That, to me, is a lie. I think ICE will do anything that they can to try to bait people, to try to grab up the people that they are looking for and whoever they want to grab up and look for, by the way. According to DHS, they will say that the boy's mother, who was inside the house, abandoned him as well. Officers made multiple attempts to get the mother inside the house to take custody of the child, the department claimed on Thursday on social media. Officers even assured her that they would not take her into custody. She refused to accept custody of the child. I don't believe that at all. A family member spoke to CNN saying that the mother apparently did not trust the ICE agents to keep their word. She was terrified because she believed that they were trying to use the baby to get her to come out of her house so they could detain her as well. The neighbors advised her not to do it, noting that she is pregnant and also has a teenage son to care for, but she wanted her child. The chair of the Columbia Heights Board of Education said on Thursday. So right now, long story less long, The boy and his father are currently held in Texas Family Residential Center. According to their lawyer, the facility is meant for families and includes a series of trailers with dedicated spaces for a library, gym, and classroom, CNN will report. So the father and son are together, but they are being detained. That's nasty work. Everyone saw the photo of that. Everyone saw the photo of the boy with his fluffy hat on, and you see the ICE agent behind him and just holding on to the boy's backpack. And it just looks nasty, bro. To know that they use a 5-year-old boy basically as bait, and people are going to say, they didn't use him as bait. What do you expect them to do? You don't use children. You do not use children. You should never use children. That is something that should be off limit. I don't care with anything. Whether you're in the underworld, whether you're in politics, whether you're in anything in life, you do never ever use children. Ever. That is scumbag behavior. I don't care who you are. That is scumbag behavior. The only time that I feel you can even use children is whenever you are a movie or television writer or something like that. And even then, they're trying to show you that people out here are scummy, people out here are dirty. That is what they're trying to portray in the entertainment world when you see the movies and TVs and they talk about children and use children as bait or anything with children. But in the real world, you're not supposed to be using children as bait. You're not supposed to even go up to someone's child, anything like that in this type of situation. You're not supposed to. It's nasty. I say that with anything. There are rules to all these things. If you want to try to nab someone like ICE has been doing, you do not use a 5-year-old. You do not use a small child. You do not use children in any way because that's nasty. I understand you trying to tug on the parent's heartstring to try to grab their kid because if you're a parent, you're supposed to look after your kid. You're supposed to try to protect your kid, all these type of things, which you're supposed to. Granted. But that's just nasty, man. It's nasty across the board. And everyone saw that. Everyone sees the photo. And ICE does not have the greatest reputation right now. They don't. People see what you're doing. People see what you guys have been doing for the past year, but more specifically in the Minneapolis, Minnesota area right now. For the past 2 to 3 weeks, you guys have just been crapping the bed. And a lot of people are starting to sway and turn their ideas on ICE. Certain people were okay with ICE at the beginning. Certain people weren't. But since this has been going down, especially in the Minnesota area, people have been swaying their opinions on ICE. People have not been supporting ICE the way that you think they were going to support it or did at one point. People have been really turning their back on ICE. And I think that's going to continue to happen. It is. And this just doesn't, this image, this story doesn't help it. Because you guys are running on thin ice right now. I think people are starting to get extremely pissed off with ICE in their brute force that they've been using, their any means necessary type thing, their ideology. People are starting to get pissed off with that, and I feel that they should be. I think that the whole United States should be pissed off at this type of stuff because this shouldn't be happening. Again, if you're out there to grab up and nab up people that are doing ill to the U.S. and they're not supposed to be here, then you at least have something to go about and say something. Fine. The people don't care if you nab up and grab someone that's done dirty and get them out of here. People don't care about that. But when you got normal citizens who are here illegally or here through the legal system, which they've said that this father and son are here through the legal way, why are you being dicks is the thing. It makes no sense. You guys should have papers of who's quote unquote legal and not legal. You guys should have papers of this type of stuff. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are the quote unquote government dollars, the taxpayer dollars and everything going towards if you guys are not competent enough to have a list of an address of someone that's legal or not legal? More specifically, the people that's not legal, because that's the people that you're supposed to be quote unquote looking for. Where are the tax dollars going if you guys are not that competent enough to get this thing right. It's just weird. It's weird, it's nasty, and I think this is probably going to be one of the things that's going to start having people really turn the tides and really start getting real up and angry. Because seeing a 5-year-old boy plastered on social media so much, seeing a 5-year-old boy plastered on the news being used as bait, it's just not good. It's nasty, and it's something that the United States should not be condoning. But again, this regime, this is what they're doing. They're condoning things like this. You have the vice president straight up trying to lie, saying that ICE was just trying to take the boy in. No, you guys use that boy as bait to try to grab the father, which is nasty behavior, is nasty across the board. And hopefully when everything does subside and they get the boy and the father back to their family, the family's actually able to sue ICE and something actually gets done. Because I'm saying it right now, ICE should not be able to do any of these things. And I also want people just to be aware, ICE, I'm not certain if they have these type of situations where they can enter people's homes illegally or with some type of warrant. I would say people need to do their research on that. But my thing is this, there was a video that did roam around. I'm not certain how far it got to certain people, but there was a video that a person captured. They did not let an ICE agent into their home because they were just said they want to check out the home to see if somebody was there, right? The person didn't let that ICE agent in. The ICE agent said, you need to let me in. The person said, no, I'm not doing that. Then you see the ICE agent say, well, as he's moving away from the home, he goes back and say, all right, next time I come back, I'm coming back for the whole family. And then just walk away. And that person's like, yep, all right. Nobody should be able to make that type of threat. That's telling you right there that they're just trying to just cause a lot of pandemonium in civilization. And it's not good. It's not good. I'm telling you, and I've said it on Wednesday, and I will preach it here, and I'll say it here. Someone needs to pull back ICE for real, because it's about to get wicked out there. It's about to get real wicked on ICE. People are about to start popping caps in ICE agents, and it's not going to be fun. You're going to have a lot of dead ICE agents on the streets, and people are going to be like, man, that's crazy. How can they do that? How can they believe that type of stuff? Dog, it's believable because people in ICE are doing some real unlawful things that are dumb, things that they shouldn't be doing. And they're backed by El Capitan up there, the front-facing man of the United States, Trump over here, and his regime of stupid troops. And again, I say stupid in the most disrespectful manner because, dog, y'all ain't supposed to be doing this. Y'all know better. I don't know who you guys are following or whatever the case may be, but, dog, pull ICE back. Pull them back, get them some proper training, and actually go after the people that you're supposed to be going after. Go after the people that are here that are trying to do some dirty, shameful, nasty stuff to the American citizens. And I'm talking about, you know who the ones, the people that actually are out there murdering, killing, selling unlawful type of drugs to people, like people that are putting things in there that people are not asking for in their drugs. You know what I'm talking about. Get those type of people out of here, not people that are just hardworking people that's giving their kids or other people just a way to live that they are not able to do in the other countries. Like, dog, stop being stupid. Again, someone pull ICE from Minneapolis, pull ICE from all these different states, and get these people training right, please. Because I don't want to see people end up dying out here. I don't. Okay? Now, moving off of ICE and the government, I have to make mention of this and give condolences to the family of Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson is a former NFL defensive lineman. He died this Wednesday, and his investigation, or shall I say his death, has been ruled as a homicide. Police are investigating it. They will say that he died from a blunt head trauma and stab wounds at a homeless encampment. According to Los Angeles County Medical Examiner, they are looking into it. They believe that he lived at that encampment at the time of his death. He was also thought to have health issues at the time of his death. So they're looking into who possibly could have killed Kevin Johnson. So please, ladies and gentlemen, sent thoughts and prayers to the family of Kevin Johnson. And I believe the Los Angeles Raiders did put out a statement. They would say that the Raiders family mourns the loss of Kevin Johnson, a defensive lineman out of Texas Southern. Johnson played for the Silver and Black for one season, seeing action in 15 games in 1997. He previously played 2 years in Philadelphia, totaling 7 sacks in 23 games. The prayers of the entire Raider Nation are with Kevin's family at this time. So when more news and updates about this death comes about, I will bring it back to this broadcast to further discuss it. I do want to have an update, or shall I say, I do have an update on Kianna Underwood, former Nickelodeon child star who was killed in a hit and run. I believe I talked about it last week. The New York Post will write up an article talking about the driver who killed Miss Underwood and recalls hitting something, but it says he did nothing wrong. Michael Griffiths, 71, recalled to the New York Daily News through tears hitting something when he slammed into Underwood last Friday morning in Brownsville. He would say, "I did nothing wrong," insisting that Griffiths confirmed he was behind the wheel of the 2021 black Ford Explorer involved in the crash. At the time, it was a little bit darkish. I was going to work. It felt like I hit something and I pulled over and stopped, he told the paper. Surveillance footage obtained by the Post shows Underwood crossing against the light at Walken Street and Piken Avenue when the Ford SUV crosses the double yellow line into the opposite lane to pass a stopped car ahead. It then hits the troubled actress in the crosswalk, sending her flying across the intersection. She was then run over by a black and gray sedan as she laid on the ground, cops said. That vehicle dragged her several hundred feet before Underwood's body tumbled out from underneath it, police sources said, with the ex-actress declared dead from severe trauma at the scene. Griffith would further go on to say that he pulled over after he hit Underwood and saw another vehicle hit the person and started dragging the person. He would say that he then got out of his car and, with other bystanders, tried to flag down the second vehicle, which then fled the scene. That driver has still not been found, according to police. Griffith said he then left to take his medication. I felt like I was going to faint when the incident happened, he told the Daily News. Griffith has not been charged with any crimes. However, he confirmed police have impounded his car, which has been ticketed for 41 violations, including 25 for speeding, according to reports. He refused to speak with investigators. He said he instead telling them to speak to his attorney. So right now they're looking at Griffiths. We're going to see what's happening with that. Hopefully they're able to find the second vehicle that hit Miss Underwood. I'm going to say this right now. If you're going to bypass a stopped car on on any road, but it's a road that has two solid striped lines, yellow lines in the middle, that means you can't overturn. The only way you can do that is if you see no one is coming in that direction. For Griffith to say it was a little bit darkish out there, he's already kind of forfeiting that a little bit. So you should have slowed it down a little. Your car should start slowing down. If you know that the car was I'm talking fast. Let me stop right here. Griffith should have, because he already said that it was a little bit darkish out there when he happened to hit Miss Underwood. And we already know that road that he was driving on had two stripes in the middle, meaning that you can't cross. You can't hop over the other vehicle. We already know what that means. If you don't know, that's what that means. The only time you can hop over the other vehicle is if you have one solid line and the other side has partial yellow streaks, meaning that you can pass over the person that's driving ahead of you if you have the opportunity to do so. For it to be a little darkish outside, and he already admitted this, that means you know that car is right there. That means you should have slowed down. And if you would have slowed down, that means you would have saw Miss Underwood, or at least someone, start walking across. So that if you would have slowed down just enough, that means you at least would have clipped her, or at least she would have it wouldn't have been so much of a bad damage from your part of the situation. But then when the other car comes around, that means the other car had to literally just be on your tail to have just nabbed her up right then and there and start dragging her for a few blocks, well, a few hundred feet. That means you and the vehicle behind you were going fast. Okay. It's a smart thing to say, let your lawyer or let your attorney speak to the investigator. Hey, any question you got to me, speak to my attorney about that. It's smart for them because that's what you're supposed to do in any situation. But someone still has to go down for this. A person died from this fatal accident. And that's exactly what it is. It's an accident, but it's something that I feel this could have been prevented. I think everyone needs to slow it down on the roads whenever you have the, not going to say option, but whenever you have to do so. When you're in a situation like this, you got to slow it down. Even if a car is slow or a car is stopped, you have to slow down. You have to slow it down, especially in the dark, because you don't know what is above or in front of that car or what's going to pop out just out of nowhere. If you try to hop over it, you have to slow down because anything can happen on these roads. But again, rest in peace to Miss Kianna Underwood. I'm hoping once again that justice will be served and someone will go down or at least face some type of charges and trial for her death. But we shall see. And when more information about this comes about, I will bring it back to you guys here on this broadcast. Another update on a previous news story that I've been watching and has been gaining some traction over the last couple weeks. Former Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding, or Weeding as they like to call it, who was accused of running a drug empire, has now been arrested in Mexico. Ryan was taken into custody in Mexico City on Thursday night. FBI Director Kash Patel said at a news conference in Southern California he was flew to the United States from Mexico, where the U.S. authorities believe he has been living for more than a decade. Patel compared Ryan to Pablo Escobar and El Chapo. He would say, just to tell you how bad of a guy Ryan is, he went from Olympic snowboarder to the largest narco trafficker in modern times. He's a modern day El Chapo. He's a modern day Pablo Escobar. He thought he could evade justice. I mean, homeboy did for the last, what? You guys say he was on the run for 10 years? So he did evade justice, but I mean, it is what it is. You guys got him. Cool. Let's see what you guys can try to pin on him. But, hey, dog, it is what it is. I was like, yo, I remember talking about this, I believe, 2 years ago? About 2 years ago, whenever this thing was like a little blip and they were like looking for a boy. It was funny because I was like, an Olympic skier, a guy from the Olympics, he's now like king of cocaine. I was like, yo, and the funny thing is, I believe he's a Canadian. And I just found that as another funny thing because, again, you don't know too much about Canadians like that. They are really silent. They are really private. And for a Canadian Olympian to be a predominant drug pusher, it's funny. It's funny to me, personally. But again, that's apparently what's happening. They got him. We're going to see what happens whenever he does go to court, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be cameras and all that stuff on him. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But again, when more information about that comes about, I'll bring it back to this broadcast and talk about it. Now, two quick things on entertainment before I get you guys out of here. First thing, Sinners. Sinners is, I believe, the most Oscar nominated, not awarded, because they're about to win awards, but they're the most Oscar nominated movie to date right now. They got 16 nominations. They announced the Oscar nominations this past Thursday. Sinners, they got 16, beating the previous record that was held by, let me get it right because I want to make sure to give these people their credit. The previous nominations, or the people's previous movies that held the most nominations for Oscars, was All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. So first and foremost, that is a credit to Ryan Coogler, his vision, and the cast and the people that he put around him for directing, writing, and people that just acted in it. So congratulations to them to receive these many Oscar nominations. I just want to read you some of the quick ones that I feel happy to announce. Again, Sinners got one for actress in best supporting role. Tiana Taylor, she got one for in supporting role as well. So congratulations to her. Again, Sinners with hair and makeup. Then with music, the original score, they got one for that one as well. Writing goes to One Battle After Another. Again, if you haven't seen it, it's the Leo DiCaprio one movie. Again, go see it. It's on Hulu. Sinners for writing original screenplay. Actor Delroy Lindo, who played the drunk in Sinners. I believe he said this is like his first Oscar nomination, which is crazy because he was in a lot of other movies, and for this to be his first Oscar nomination, that's nuts. So for that alone, I'm hoping that he wins a best supporting actor role there. I'm hoping he got that. Sinners with casting, for costume design, for I Lied to You from original music. I believe they even got like the best one, like the big movie. What is it? What is best picture is Sinners. That's like the big one that everyone really looks forward to. Michael B. Jordan, he got one for actor in a leading role. Also, Timothy Chalamet for his part in Marty Supreme. I think like he's the youngest guy to be put in that best actor, like the male actor, like leading actor part. I think he's like the youngest to be in that. Yep, right here. Timothy Chalamet became the youngest actor since Marlon Brando to receive 3 Best Actor Oscar nominations. So congratulations to him as well. But man, Sinners, I expect them to, if they're not walking away with all 16, I at least should see them walk away with at least half of that. Because if you tell me I get nominated for 16, I'm looking for 8. 8 is me bottoming out. That's where I set the bar at for that. I expect 8. If it's anything over 8, I'm excited. If it's anything under than 8, I'm gonna be like, but I still got something, right? But congratulations to Ryan Coogler and again his team and the people that really went out there and made Sinners possible. And also congratulations to Hollywood too, because I saw a lot of Hollywood support around Sinners. When Sinners was coming out, I saw a lot of people in Hollywood really championing Sinner. I believe Tom Cruise championed it. My guy, Ben Stiller, he championed it. God, I just talked about their movie Wednesday, technically, The Rip. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, they championed Sinner whenever that came out. Matter of fact, even on the their rollout for The Rip, Ben Affleck, he was talking about Hollywood supporting Ryan Coogler when he was doing Sinners and when it came out. So that tells you Hollywood was really behind Sinners. So again, I expect Homeboy to at least walk away with 8. That's the bottom for Sinners, in my opinion. But we'll wait and see with that. But still, congratulations to Ryan Coogler and his team. Congratulations to Tiana Taylor as well, because I talked about it again, her winning the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress in that movie, One Battle After Another. That, and for her now to be a Oscar nominating person, it still goes in that list of just seeing someone starting out so small. Again, seeing her on Sweet 16, that show, to now see where she's at now. It's crazy to see that, but congratulations to her, and congratulations to other nominees. And also, the Grammys, this happening next Sunday, which again, quick. I'm going to be watching that because it has been announced that the Clips will be performing there. I believe Leon Thomas will be performing on the the Grammys as well. Leon Thomas, again, another child actor. Nickelodeon ranks, and now to see where he's at, it's great to see. Again, his album was a great album too to listen to. I got to roll back that one too, but yeah, I'm more or less just want to see Clips win their awards next week. That's what I'm hoping for, because again, that Let God Sort 'Em Out album was great. If you listen to rap and all that, I would say go check it out. But even if you don't, the song that really is, I don't care what you believe in, a nice little sentimental tribute song to their parents. Birds Don't Sing. I really do hope that people do give that a listen. Even if you're not into rap, just give that a listen, because they give a nice little tribute to their parents, and it's nice to hear that. But anyway, that's coming out of award season this upcoming time now that we're in. And also, Beauty, if you haven't seen it, it's on Hulu and also on FX. Again, it is, for me, a parody. It is more of a parody on the extreme version of what Ozempic or weight loss drugs could do to you in the future. Because the whole deal is that someone gets hit with this sexually transmitted disease, and the disease will make you beautiful, right? But in the mix of making you beautiful, you will experience some extreme side effects, which will cause you to feel extremely overheated in the chest, which means you constantly got to try to find something to cool you down. Water. And if you don't, you end up self-exploding. 3 episodes are out right now on Hulu. If you're into that type of stuff, go check it out. I'm going to continue watching that series to see how it ends, because I am interested in it, because again, it's taking a nice little extreme look at what people do for vanity, and we're in that era now. So that's the reason why I'm interested in it, and I'm hoping that that's not a precursor to what could happen in the future. I'm hoping that's not the case, but if it is, it's telling you what you guys should look forward to later down the line. But yeah, go check Beauty out if you're into that type of stuff. Is there anything else I want to say? Nope, I believe that's everything. So with that, it is now time for me to end today's show off and get you guys out of here. I would like to thank everybody from the podcasting world, whether it be Apple, Amazon, Podbean, Spotify, all the other podcasting sites out there, for having me on and allowing me to throw my episodes up there onto your companies, because without you guys, I won't be able to send these podcast episodes out to the downloaders and listeners. So I'd like to thank you, but I also like to thank you guys, the downloaders and listeners, because without you guys, I'll just be one guy talking into a mic, into a void. And I appreciate you guys just taking time out of your day just to listen to me talk and rant and ramble about any and everything. I appreciate that, because you guys literally could have been listening to anything. You guys could have been listening to the news that's happening on CBS, ABC, Fox, wherever you get it from. You guys could be listening to music. You guys could be listening or watching YouTube videos, but you decided to listen to me. I appreciate that very, very much. And it's not lost on me. So again, I'd like to say thank you. So with that being said, always remember,
I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you.
that is not a gimmick. I truly do love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Again, the admiration for people to listen to this podcast is not lost on me. I do hope everyone have a great day as we enter into this new week, the last week of January. I'm hoping everyone closes out January strong as we go into February. And again, just try to be the best that you can be. Don't be a dick. Be kind and courteous to everyone that you do come across. And also for everyone that, once again, is in these cold areas, please try to bundle up to the best of your ability and just try to stay warm. So with all that being said, this has been the My 2 Cents podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. He is I and I am him. This isn't goodbye. This is until you hear from the sweet sounding voice again. And with all that said, Kanye, could you please take these people home?
I'm tired, you tired, Jesus wept.